Hey there, welcome to Venture with Jazzy, a channel where I help promote healthy spending. Today I'm going to be talking about beginner credit cards. Now, this is something that everybody has to go through. I mean, they're not going to be the funnest cards. They're not going to give you the cool lounge access or ultimate rewards, etc. But everybody has to go here before you get there. As for the best kind of beginner credit cards, it kind of depends on numerous factors, which include what's your monthly spending, or do you have a line of credit history, etc. But today I'm going to be evaluating the best credit cards with these three criteria, which include no annual fees, easy everyday spending categories, as well as welcome bonuses. Talking about annual fees, let me just stress that you should not get an annual fee card as your first credit card. And why is that? Because this card will most likely just be at the back of your pocket after the first 2 years or so when you're owning this card. In the future, you're going to be getting much more credit cards, then you're not going to be using this card. And so this card is basically just determining your credit history and your credit score. So if you happen to want to cancel this card, you really shouldn't, because that will kind of bring you back to square one. You're not going to be getting that nice credit score for determining which type of premium cards you want, and it's really going to hurt you. So you're going to be there with this annual fee card spending every year, but you won't be able to cancel it. So that's kind of annoying, and that's why you should just avoid annual fee cards as your first card. If you're finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will really appreciate it. The first card on this list is the Discover It Secured Credit Card. So a secured credit card, that means that you will have to be putting down a deposit, and that deposit amount will equal your line of credit. So how much spending you can perform each month. So as for this deposit that you will have to put down, you are able to receive it back. But for this card, you will receive that deposit if you are able to have 6 consecutive on-time payments. So just be really smart with that. As for the pros of this card, you do not have to have any kind of credit history whatsoever, and it's really good for those who are trying to build their credit. So if you had some mistakes in the past, this is really great. This card does not have any annual fees, and it does have some cashback rewards. For this card, you will be able to get 2% back on gas stations and restaurants, 1% back on all other purchases. This card also helps you to upgrade to a regular credit card by giving you monthly reviews after 7 months, which is really great, especially if you're a beginner and you're just not sure when to finally move on. As for the cons, this is a secured credit card, so that's a con in and of itself if you don't want to put a large amount of cash down at first. And another thing about this card that I would say is a con, in my experience, I've found that some merchants don't exactly want to accept Discover credit cards. Just make sure you have some cash with you. The second card on this list is the Petal 1 no annual fee and 2 cashback no fees Visa credit cards. So these two Petal cards, they're really great because you don't need to put down a deposit, and also they give you some cashback rewards. Both of these two cards, they're fairly similar. The Petal 1, you don't need to have any kind of credit history. The Petal 2, you need to have a little bit of history and some good credit score. As for the pros of this card, the Petal 1 does have some cashback rewards with some limitations where some merchants are not accepted. So you'll be able to receive 1% cashback on a variety of merchants and up to 10% on certain merchants. As for the Petal 2 though, you will be able to receive 1% cashback for a full year, and after that, after 12 good on-time payments, you will receive 1.5% cashback. And then there's also some merchants that do qualify for that 2 to 10% cash back, which is pretty nice. Also, a great thing about these two cards is that there are no foreign transaction fees, so it makes it very friendly as a traveling starter credit card. As for the cons of these two cards, there is that limitation of the cashback rewards, and you do need to have a social security number in order to get these cards. So to sum it up, I would say that the Petal 1 credit card is better for those who don't have any credit history, and then the 2 is better if you have some credit history, and then you can get a little bit more cashback rewards. And also just to note, these two cards are kind of cute. I would definitely have wanted one if I was just starting out. Okay, number 3 on this list is the Chase Freedom Flex card. Now this card is probably one of my favorite starter cards because you're getting into that Chase trifecta, which I'll have to go into in another video. So this card and also the next card I'll be talking about, they're really good cards. So the kind of downside on this card is you do need to have some credit history, and the history that you have needs to be a good credit score or else you may not qualify for this card. This card gives you some great cashback rewards. You get 5% back on bonus categories that change every quarter and 5% back on travel purchased through Chase's travel portal, with 3% back on dining and 1% back on everything else. At this moment, you get a $200 bonus if you spend $500 within the first 3 months using this card. As for the pros in this card, you get no annual fees, some great cashback rewards, as well as a welcome bonus, which is pretty cool. And kind of the con of this card, I'd say, is you do have to remember you own it. So every quarter, this card's 5% cashback, it changes, and you're gonna have to activate this fee every 3 months. If you don't remember to activate the fee, then you may not get that 5% back. So just remember that you have the card. Number 4 on this list is the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. Like I said, this is another one of my favorite beginner cards because you're able to just get into that Chase travel portal and accumulate all the points, and you are allowed to possess both the cards at the same time. So you can take advantage of getting both of the welcome bonuses. This card will also give you a $200 welcome bonus after you spend $500 within the first 3 months at this period of time. It could change in the future. And this card is slightly different in terms of the cashback rewards. This card will give you 5% cash back on travel purchased via Chase's travel portal, 3% back on dining in drugstores, 1.5% back on everything else. So it's a little better in terms of the miscellaneous purchases, which is why I like this card. So the Freedom Flex, I use that when I know what the quarterly 5% back is. This card, I kind of just use it whenever I don't want to think, and so I just get that 1.5% back. So as for the pros, this card has no annual fee, you get some great cashback rewards, and you get a welcome bonus. And one cool thing to note about both of these cards is that you will be able to receive 5% back on Lyft. So you just go through the app and then you pay with the card, and you'll automatically receive that 5% back. Fun fact about these cards is that the Freedom Flex, it runs on MasterCard, while this one, the Unlimited, it runs on Visa. So sometimes you get those merchants where they don't accept one or the other, and having both of these cards at the back of your pocket makes it that you're able to just not worry about carrying cash all the time. Number 5 on this list is the Blue Cash Everyday card from American Express. Now this card is also really good for beginners. However, the con is that you do need to have some credit history, and that credit history also needs to be some good credit. This card is really great if you have plans to move on with the Amex game. So if you want to upgrade to the Platinum or the Gold, then you probably want to go in this direction. This card will also give you a welcome bonus of $200 if you spend $2,000 within the first 6 months. So that might be a con for some. The card also gives you a 3% cash back in US supermarkets, retail purchases, and gas stations. As for the con, maybe that welcome bonus is kind of scary. I think when I was in college, thinking about spending $2,000 within 6 months was a little bit of a scary thought because I wasn't making any money. But I mean, everybody has their own lifestyle, so it depends on you. Maybe this is a great choice for you. Also to note, this card is not travel friendly, where you do need to pay some fees when you use it abroad. And also to note is a lot of merchants don't accept American Express, so that might be kind of a con in and of itself as well. These were the top 5 best beginner credit cards. I'd also like to know, what was your first credit card, or which of these do you plan to get? Let me know in the comments below. So as for me, my first credit card was the Bank of America secured credit card. It was a red one, and I was actually an authorized user under my dad at age 15, and I realized that at this period of time, I was actually building my credit score, which is kind of nice, so you don't need to wait until you're age 18. So along the way, I kind of wanted to learn, how young can you be to be an authorized user, so then you can start building credit. Then I found on Google that some cards, they don't have a limitation. And then I started to find that some people were asking Google if their 5-year-old can be an authorized user. I started to think, what is a 5-year-old going to be doing with a credit card? But on the other hand, I'm thinking maybe these parents are being pretty smart. Maybe they're wanting their 5-year-old to start building credit. And so I think that's pretty cool. What are your thoughts on that? I'd really like to know. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please give this channel a like and a subscribe. It would help me a ton. And I'm gonna see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.